40 years ago, a young Belgian footballer walked onto the Estadio Azteca pitch for the opening fixture of the 1986 World Cup. His team was Belgium. The rival was Mexico. He was 34 years old, and that single moment changed his entire life forever. Now, 40 years later, that exact same man is standing back at the exact same stadium. But this time he is not a player. He is the coach of South Africa, and he is about to face Mexico again in the opening game of the 2026 World Cup. His name is Hugo Broos, and what he revealed in his pre-match interview will give you genuine goosebumps. Stay with me. Hugo Broos said something in his interview that every football fan needs to hear. 40 years ago, I played the opening game against Mexico as a player. That was something I will never forget. And now I am here again in Mexico. We will play the opening game again against Mexico at Azteca Stadium. It is amazing that this happened. Think about that for a moment. 1986 World Cup, Estadio Azteca, Belgium versus Mexico. Hugo Broos was a young footballer, 34 years old, living the biggest moment of his entire football career. Now in 2026, the same stadium, the same opponent, the same opening slot, but now he sits in the dugout, in the coach's chair, with the entire South African nation on his shoulders. Broos said, "This World Cup is so much bigger than 40 years ago. I feel it already now. And if the reports are correct, 1 billion people will watch this opening match. 1 billion human beings. One game. One pitch." But Broos also revealed something in his interview that very few people are talking about, and it could decide the entire outcome of this match. Estadio Azteca sits in Mexico City, and Mexico City stands at 2,300 meters. That is 7,500 feet above sea level. That is more than double the height of most European cities where these players train every single week. At this altitude, breathing becomes genuinely difficult. Legs feel heavy and slow. Fatigue arrives much earlier, and if a team has not properly adapted, the final 20 minutes of the match, they simply fall apart completely. This is exactly why Broos sent his squad to Mexico as early as May 21st, weeks before the tournament. People questioned it, but Broos had the answer. Altitude is altitude. I had the experience as a player 40 years ago. We had to be here so many days before because we need that adaptation. This is the mark of a truly intelligent coach. Broos has felt the pain of Azteca altitude with his own body, and he refuses to let his players suffer the same way. But Broos also revealed something in his interview that very few people are talking about, and it could decide the entire outcome of this match. Estadio Azteca sits in Mexico City, and Mexico City stands at 2,300 meters. That is 7,500 feet above sea level. That is more than double the height of most European cities where these players train every single week. At this altitude, breathing becomes genuinely difficult. Legs feel heavy and slow. Fatigue arrives much earlier, and if a team has not properly adapted the final 20 minutes of the match, they simply fall apart completely. This is exactly why Broos sent his squad to Mexico as early as May 21st. Weeks before the tournament. People questioned it. But Broos had the answer. Altitude is altitude. I had the experience as a player 40 years ago. We had to be here so many days before because we need that adaptation. This is the mark of a truly intelligent coach. Broos has felt the pain of Azteca altitude with his own body, and he refuses to let his players suffer the same way. And then Broos said something that moved the entire nation of South Africa to tears. I heard that there is no Bafana Bafana shirt for sale anymore in South Africa. People want to buy shirts, but shops are completely empty. That means something for us. And it is for those people we will fight as lions. Not a single Bafana Bafana jersey left in any shop across South Africa. Every store completely empty. Sold out nationwide. 16 years of waiting. 16 years of heartbreak. 16 years of watching other nations at the World Cup. And then, in one night, an entire country put on their jersey together. This is not just football anymore. This is a nation's hope, a country's dream, a people's identity. And Broos told his players, when 87,000 fans are screaming against you on Thursday, remember the people wearing those jerseys back home. Play for them. Broos was asked, who is Mexico's most dangerous player? His answer was remarkable. They are all dangerous. It is a very complete team, with much movement, with solidarity. You see that those guys really want to become world champion. I saw the game against Serbia. Fantastic. The first half hour. Movement, aggressivity, solidarity. All the team attacks. All the team defends. It will be very difficult for us. Mexico's strength is not one player. It is the entire team as one unit. Coach Javier Aguirre has built a machine that attacks together and defends together. No single star, 11 stars playing as one. But Broos was also clear. A football game is a football game. We don't have to think we have no chance. That is not true. And he is absolutely right. On paper, Mexico should win easily. FIFA ranking 14 versus ranking 60. But in 2010, South Africa beat France 2-1. France, the eventual World Cup finalists. Nobody gave South Africa a chance then either. Broos then made a deep psychological observation, and it is a direct warning to Mexico. The pressure will be on the Mexican side. My players never played in this situation. We don't have to count on South African support in the stadium. But we know all of South Africa is supporting us, and we have to remind ourselves of that when the game starts. Think about this. 87,000 fans, every single one screaming for Mexico. South Africa will have perhaps a few hundred supporters inside that stadium. But Broos says, this actually gives South Africa the advantage. Why? Because Mexico carries the weight of an entire nation on their shoulders. One mistake, and 87,000 people hold their breath together. One goal conceded, and the stadium falls into complete panic. The pressure on Mexico's players will be absolutely suffocating. South Africa, zero pressure, zero expectation, just play, freely, fearlessly, and a team that plays without fear can overturn absolutely anything. Broos also revealed South Africa's two biggest weapons going into this match. First, Lyle, 25 years old, Burnley, Premier League. Broos said, Foster has the experience of high-level football, even relegated with his team. But that experience is very important. Even relegation teaches you something. Foster has faced Premier League pressure every single week. He will not freeze on the biggest stage. He will not be scared. He has already been in the fire. Second weapon, Mamelodi Sundowns players. Sundowns won the 2025 CAF Champions League, Africa's most prestigious club trophy. And 8 of their players are in South Africa's World Cup squad. Broos said, they are used to playing very important games with a lot of pressure. They can affect other players, give their experience to younger players. This is not just a squad. This is a winning mentality packed into 23 players. And on June 11th at the Azteca, that mentality will matter more than any ranking or statistic ever could. June 11th, Estadio Azteca, 1 billion viewers. Hugo Broos, returning to the exact same pitch where his World Cup story began 40 years ago. Not a single jersey left in any shop across South Africa, an entire nation dressed in green and gold. And Broos has made his promise. We will fight as lions. Mexico has the crowd. Mexico has the stadium. Mexico has everything on their side. But there is a coach sitting in that dugout who lost here 40 years ago and has spent 4 decades waiting to come back and win. Drop a comment right now. Who wins this match? Mexico or South Africa? And what is your exact score prediction? Subscribe immediately, because every single day between now and July 19th, we are covering every match, every story, every dramatic moment of the 2026 World Cup. Together. See you in the next video.